That was soft.
It's a soft hands.
That's not a WFT, dude.
What are you talking about? That's a manly clap.
That's a manly clap.
Hey, quick question. How do you guys think Josh claps? I gotta be so flamboyant.
I feel like he claps. No, I feel like it's one of those like, it's like when like somebody's really mad and they're trying to like express. So every time they say something, they clap. It's like, what is your problem? Why aren't you listening to me? Like
he looks like he claps like even at somebody's graduation, he looks like he claps like that. All right, let's go ahead and bring this in. What's really good, pot stirrers? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. She is Becky at Gift Master Bex. What's really good, gang? You know, this episode, I feel like was so much better than the last couple of episodes we've been getting. I feel like we've been getting some kind of mid, all right episodes, nothing really get excited about. And this episode here really brought it back for me. What's up with you guys?
I'm just excited to see some drama and some legit, not like petty drama, like actual sincere drama. I wanted to see some blood. I wanted to see some vets getting mad. I was in it. I was excited.
Yeah, it's drama with history behind it. So it's like more meaningful. It's stuff that we don't relate to it, but we can understand it better.
It's less petty.
Yeah,
it's not petty arguments, You made out with my boyfriend and
well,
I think you're whiny.
Yeah, making out with my girlfriend is gonna be one of those more serious things.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to go ahead and jump into this episode?
Let's kill it.
Oh,
it's not that bad.
Before we jump into this episode, I wanted to address why we've been gone for the last 2 episodes. So 2 weeks ago, my stupid ass went ahead and updated OBS, which is one of the programs I use to pretty much run this whole entire thing. Ever since I did this upgrade, the audio has been just super jacked up. So we made the decision to stop going live and just record locally. Unfortunately, we still got hit for those 2 episodes. So right now we're not going live at all. And if we do decide to go back live, it's gonna be most likely on YouTube. I really, really love going live, really love chatting with you guys, really love having you guys involved. Hopefully we'll give it a couple of weeks and we'll see what we can do from there. But instead, you're gonna be able to enjoy the audio a lot sooner, and then you'll be able to get the video on Facebook and YouTube.
Guys, let us know how you feel about us. Do you guys want us to go back live?
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck? I think they care.
They
care. Like interacting with us. Or me, at least.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's go jump into this episode. Priscilla and Jeremiah triumphantly returns. And, let's just gloss over all of this A-block drama so we can go ahead and get into the shit. They really are driving home the fact that this whole vet alliance is done. There's a section where Cory breaks up who's with who, which I thought was a really, really important thing to have. Let's go
Another list? Didn't we learn that lists are a bad thing, though?
From rookies.
Yeah, for rookies.
Listen,
for rookies, because
Cory got screwed because of a list too in Dirty 30.
Well, yeah, but that was a hit list. That's a little bit different.
that was completely different.
Yeah,
Michaela's list could have been considered a hit list.
Yeah, it kind of was, but once again, she's a rookie. It's not like she's Laurel. Laurel, put your name on a fucking hit list. What the fuck are you going to do about it?
List, but that's got some power behind it.
Exactly.
Laurel, you want to run the complete opposite direction.
Here. I'm going to make some lists right now this episode.
I'm going to make a couple of lists, too.
I'm sorry, Tyler. Ain't nobody scared of your list.
My counting homework.
Well, they would be.
All right. Quick question. First question of the day.
Ooh.
How impressive was this vet alliance compared to, one, the last couple of seasons, going back to around War of the World, when that started off, and compared to some of the older seasons where we've seen huge alliances, but mainly just the vets. Tyler, I really want to hear from you. how impressive was this vet alliance up until this point? I think we're on episode 8?
9.
Episode 9. What's your take?
It's extremely impressive. It's uncharted territory. It's for at least since like, man, I can't even, to go back, it'd have to be like going back to like the gauntlets and the infernos when it was initiation. Your rookie, go in. And the rookies weren't bitter about it. They're like, okay, yeah, I'm new. But we started getting this vets protect vets thing around like season 20, like 19, 20, Fresh Meat 2, Cutthroat. And these people are like just throwing in rookies over and over and over. And that's their excuse. And it started running its course dry because we started getting better rookies. And finally...
Really? You think better rookies is the real reason that sort of vets is a little scared?
We had guys like Frank come in, who is a master strategist. We have somebody like Zach come in, who physically intimidates people. We have guys like, I don't even know who else to think of.
And they won in their rookie season.
They won in their rookie season, but I mean, their first objective was to get out the biggest veteran team there and then get out the second biggest veteran team there. That's what they did. I feel like when Cory and Nelson and Hunter came, they were better at the game than rookies in seasons past. And so I think we're getting better rookies. So,
I think Wes was a really underestimated rookie.
But like the thing for Wes though is he still had to go in, like he had to go in 5 times in the rookie season. So
yeah,
like,
but they didn't think he would come back. The fact that he just kept coming back was the crazy thing.
But he still had no power in that game. And I think we start to see like a rookie dominate. And then we start getting these, season after season, we start seeing more rookies start to kind of pick it up. But I think now we're in the era of the rookie where they can come in, they can do a really good job. So the fact that veterans are able to adapt and throw them all away, because you know how easy it is, as we saw last season? You know what? Wes and CT, they got the most championships here. Ashley, boom, let's get all these guys out. Makes sense, right? It's so easy to do. You can get the rookies on board. You get the vets that have been losers for a long time on board. Like, that's just how it works. We have spade. So the fact that they're able to sit back this long and be like, okay, let's not do that is amazing, because you have to think this entire time they've been wanting to pull the trigger and just throw CT in. They want to pull the trigger and throw Ashley in because they're too good at the final.
They've been wanting to throw Ashley in.
Yeah, that has to be the main objective for the rest of the vets now that this alliance is done. It has to be get CT, get Ashley, get Amber all the way the fuck out of here. Becky, in your opinion, how does this vet alliance compare to some of the vet alliances we've seen in the past?
I gotta say it was really smart. And I don't know if it has to do a lot with vets like Devin really being involved. Even people like Kyle, who really tried to keep this vet alliance kind of moving and basically trying to keep people from backstabbing each other. Because there were times where people were like, oh, like Tori wanted to kind of crash it. Obviously Fessy tried to do that by sending it Amber. So it's one of those situations where you look at it and you go, it was a really smart kind of played out, because I didn't expect it to last 3 episodes. I expected it to crumble within at least, maybe at the max 5, because there's so much history there. And I was hoping that this would happen sooner rather than later. But it definitely finally fell apart, thank God. But it was very well done. It was super smart. It is what it is. I'm glad it's over.
I mean, here's the thing, though. A couple of these guys, like Kyle, I feel like we can't really include in this conversation because Kyle has always like found himself leeching on to veterans. Like Kyle's never been for all rookies. Kyle's been for, I'm going to leech onto the vets because I know that they're going to tear each other apart eventually. And when it's all said and done, I'll probably be the cockroach that's by himself at the end. And that's just, so like, but like a lot of these guys, like I feel like Josh, Fessy, Cory.
We had to emphasize Josh.
Yeah. So
not Josh.
Josh, Fessy, Cory, and then people on the other side like Ashley, Amanda, Tori, people that tend to kind of play more petty games and feel more, I got to get you because you did something to me. That's who really surprises me here. Like not CT, like CT making it this far, doing it just like this is exactly how he has to do it to make it this far anymore. It makes sense.
CT's like, they're finally playing my game. I don't even know.
Same with Nani. This is like CT and Nani play the exact same game. Like we all shit on Nani, but it's the exact same game. Be friends with people, stay in the back, try to cause a lot of drama, try and get in the front, like, hey, I'm trying to separate this, but don't cause anything. But the fact that Tori is still here and she hasn't really thrown in anybody yet, the fact that Cory hasn't thrown in a vet yet, it's pretty surprising.
It is surprising. I think this alliance is definitely going to go down as one of the most successful vet alliances we've seen. And they went 9 episodes, all while the rookies let them do it. Because at some point, especially in the early episodes, they had the numbers. And you could find a pissed off vet or two to go against it, and it really could have flipped the game on its head. And the fact that they kept them all under control, they kept them all under their thumb until they got most of them the fuck up out of here. And even the rookies that's left, none of these rookies really looked primed to actually win one of these things. So hats off to the vets. The vets did an amazing job keeping the rookies this season in check. I mean, hats off to them.
I'm not going to say...
I think 3 rookies look like they could potentially be champions. Like they look like Emmanuel, Ed, and
Emmanuel looks good.
What about Cory? Not Cory who's still there. Cory L?
Well, I don't know. He might not ever be back, so he can't be a champion.
Cory's all the way gone. I do like Emmy, but I don't really see her winning with Tori, Nani, and Ashley still in
I just don't.
You're just talking about the people that are still in it.
Yeah, like who's here? Like who I don't see anything in a final getting in Emmy's way. I just don't see anything she's going to be too afraid to do.
It's her getting to the final that I think is going to be worrisome.
Could you imagine? Because if she's with CT in that final, she doesn't got to worry about puzzles. She doesn't got to worry about eating. And she's good at everything else. Somebody like Ed. Ed seems like he's good at everything.
It looks like a fucking brick wall.
He is.
I was watching him in the episode. I was like, God damn, that man is wide. It's like he's not he's fat. He's just holy shit. I'd be afraid to run into him.
But I think that there's legitimate contenders here from these rookies.
But overall, it's not a really awesome rookie class overall. It was a pretty sad rookie class coming in this season.
I don't know.
It's kind of sad.
They're better than Gus. They're better than the incest twins from Big Brother.
It's not hard to beat Gus.
There's been plenty of shitty rookies.
But War of the Worlds 1, everybody loves that season. But some of those rookies on that season, the Nolan twins.
Yeah.
Is it the Nolans that are doing that, or is it the other set of twins?
No, it was the Nolans.
I just heard it was the Nolans.
They're mad sus. I seen some.
They were trending on Twitter.
Are you sure it was the Nolan twins? I'm positive.
Yes,
positive.
It was trending.
Anyway, moving on. A great part of the A block is I love when Cory broke down who's in the teams. We got Josh, Ashley. We got Josh. Okay, before we get to that, Josh eyes Cory as the ringleader, and he notes that.
Wait, sorry guys. I hate to interrupt this. It wasn't the Nolan twins. It was the Kaplan twins that are the incest twins. Because the Kaplan twins were on X on the Beach.
Nope.
And they did inappropriate videos.
It's both then. It's both, but it was the Nolan twins, trust me.
I'm going to look it up because I don't believe it's the Nolan twins.
I doubt you can find it. Twitter snatched that down.
So the teams come in. You got Devin's crew, and it's got Devin, CT, Colin, Ed, and Tori. Team Big Brother, Josh, Casey, Nani, and Emmanuel. And you got Logan as a lone wolf. And of course, you got Cory, Bettina, Jeremiah, Priscilla, and Nelson. So not a bad team. It does initially look like Cory may have the numbers, but I think Devin's crew with CT, Colin, Ed looks like they're going to be the team to beat. Out of these teams, and Team Big Brother got a lot of friends. Which one of these teams do you like the most to make it the furthest?
I mean, if you're looking at what they can do performance-wise, and I'm just going to stick to the males because that's who I can kind of say can do really well in things, and then the female counterparts will obviously do well because they can support them, but just looking at the guys' side, I think the room that has CT, Devin, and Ed, and Kyle, those guys, I feel like their skill sets are very well-rounded in a lot of things and can win a lot of dailies. And then we look at the other side where Big Brother Alliance, Emmanuel's pretty good at things, but Josh is just like, Josh is good enough to like make a second round of a daily or make a third round, but he's never really good enough to like be the star to win it. And then again, everybody knows my comments on Casey that I think she's overrated in that she's carried by her partners and she's a really good team player. But I just think
I'm with you on that. I think she's kind of overrated too. I do think she is a good performer, but just generally overrated. I think people think she's much more of a beast than what I've actually seen from her.
I mean, most of these Big Brother players that are in here right now are overrated. I'm sorry, I don't even think Fessy is that amazing. I think
Fessy is amazing.
I think he's just big.
Fessy's amazing.
Fessy wins a lot of dailies.
It's not about the dailies. I'm more talking about the final because he just
but winning those dailies keeps him out of eliminations. When he's in elimination, he pretty much has. I mean, of course, he's only gotten physical eliminations, but he is beasted. He has won decisively in every elimination. He wins a lot of dailies.
I'm not going to think he's that good until he wins a final with his big ass mouth.
So is Leroy bad at the game then?
Yeah, exactly. That's a big leap. Like,
I mean, Leroy's not really an amazing player. He's kind of a middle of the ground kind of player. He's dependent mostly.
I would put him more towards the top though.
He's always leached onto, similar to Kyle, to vets with people he had friendships with. He wasn't an amazing daily player. He's not that good in finals. I mean, he's a decent player, but he's not
he's
a top tier.
He's a lesser Fessy, to be exact.
Right. And once again, that still puts him in elite status when it's compared to a lot of other. The fact of the matter is, a lot of the players who win the challenge, a lot of players who's in the challenge is not going to win the challenge. Winning a challenge is difficult. It's
a very hard show to win.
It is super hard. You need so many things to go right. So many things to go right. And then sometimes it comes down to just basic luck, like free agents. Luck played a huge role, and it was really, really random. God, I could sit here and talk about free agents. We should go back, rewatch Free Agents, and then recover the season.
I'm down to watch Free Agents. Free Agents is one of my favorite seasons. Best.
But let's go ahead and move on to this daily. Today's daily is going to be called Bombshell Battle. So they got a big crater, they filled it with mud, everybody got to run down, grab 5 of their balls, and then there's like a couple of silver balls. There's not enough for everybody. This daily was perfect. It's simple. Run down there, grab the balls, bring them back. Tag your partner, let them run down there. It was very simple premise. It got, and everything is very physical. But then once everybody gets their balls and we get down to those silver balls, it gets really, really gritty. It was a lot of great moments. Surprisingly, Logan and Nani gets the win, but let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that made this daily really great. I love the way it was shot. I love the way they kept us informed of who was up and who was getting stuff. I think they did a real good job. It was physical. We got drama. One of my favorite moments was Cory putting Josh into check. And a lot of people glossed over this, but Casey went after Amber, and Amber was just like, fuck it, and held on to Casey the whole time. Like, if I'm not gonna win, neither is you. Those by far my favorite moments, and I was really impressed by Ed and Big T. What were some moments that stuck out to you guys? What were some moments that you guys really liked, didn't like? Who wants to hit it off first?
Go ahead, Becky.
I mean, Cory had his football tackle, which I was waiting for it. It just seemed like everybody was so very lightly trying to grapple with each other. And I was like, somebody's got to attack somebody. And then Cory just Supermaned right into Josh, which made me really laugh. I really enjoyed that. But seeing Amber B just sit on Casey so she couldn't move. And then Big T ended up ramming her butt right in Casey's face.
Yes, that whole position looked a little sus, but it was great to watch.
I was like, Casey's in like the perfect spot. Like, it's a lot of female action going right there for Casey. But the fact that Big T won, her heat was actually really enjoyable for me as well. But I was like, yeah, that only happened because Amber sat on Casey.
Another great moment that I really loved during that daily is when Ed just comes up to, excuse me. Ed comes up to, I think it was Nelson, and he just gently takes the ball away from him. Like there was no fight in him. And that really, really tickled my fancy paws. Tyler, talk to me about today's daily.
So this daily is fantastic every time they do it. We've seen this daily done a lot of times. They've done it where it's individuals, it's pairs, it's teams, and it's good every time because it always gives us good moments. We saw it on War of the Worlds 1 when it was kind of added. There was another element added to it, but we see like Zach panic and give the ball to Wes, and then Wes gets through and wins. We get to see moments where people like beast through like Turbo. We saw, if you go all the way back to like Gauntlet 3, it was like Derek versus CT, and they were like physical fighting each other. Not Derek K, big Derek, bald Derek.
Yeah,
well, not bald, but it just always brings good moments. It's also very similar, but kind of different to the ring one that we had, where DM won on the Duel 1, which is
one of the greatest moments in TV history.
Jane.
So like whenever there's a mud pit and there's an objective to get a limited number of things, and yeah, it's always good. There's physicality, there's agility, there's speed. It's easy to keep up with like who's doing well because they got to get 4th and they get the 5th silver ball. Like it's what's the word when we're watching for viewers? It's visually pleasing to the eye, and yeah, it doesn't
a simple premise.
Wins. It's very simple, but it has some layers to it. It has strategy, but it doesn't matter whoever wins because this daily will always be good. No matter who's in it. It can be the worst cast in the world. This daily will deliver every time.
I saw it was Wes, Derek, Bananas. They were like, where's the puzzle? Like, I feel like there should be an explosion and a puzzle somewhere. Like,
we did get an explosion, but no puzzle. Let me ask you guys. So when we got towards the end, it was Logan. Who was the last 3 at the very end? It
Big
was
T and Nelson.
I'm talking about for the guys, and I'm mainly talking about the deal that was made. Logan, Nelson, and I think Ed. Yeah, Logan, Nelson, Ed. And they were all fighting over the ball at the end, and they decided that they're going to make a deal. And they decided to let Logan win, and that Ed and Nelson was going to be safe. Now, I guess these guys did not see Final Reckoning. And granted, this isn't really a final, so maybe it's a better time to make a deal. Maybe they were really tired. 3 rounds of this has got to be exhausting. But
Nelson looked dead. Dead.
Just when you get to this final moment, putting your fate into somebody else's hands and trusting in them, and you guys don't know Logan from a can of shit. So I really wasn't feeling this deal that was made at the end. How did this strike you guys? All of them cutting a deal at the end to stay safe.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it was kind of just a last-ditch effort by Logan. I didn't like, he's like, if I win, you may not be safe if you keep tackling me. So it was a mixture of a threat and a plea. So I was kind of confused by the situation because he was like, basically, please don't fight me. But, you know, if I win and you still fight me, I'm going to throw your ass in, basically. But I think it's stupid. You never make deals. It's just, it's always one of those ways where it ends up biting you right in the ass. And I feel like this might bite Nelson right in the ass.
See, I feel like Nelson was the only one that it made sense to make the deal. Because Nelson's well-liked amongst all the vets. Nobody really is talking about throwing in Nelson. Like, it's like maybe a thought, but like, Nelson has a good relationship with Cory, with Ashley, with Amanda, with
Not
Devin.
Ashley so much more.
But he still kind of does. But like, and then he's got a good relationship, I feel like, with Big T. So like, I feel like he's got enough good relationships with vets that if things go awry, he's probably fine. His name probably isn't going to come up. Now, Ed is very weird because even though a vet has to go in, status quo is a rookie's going in potentially with them. That's too risky because you've seen what's been happening in the past. But for me, I don't know. I felt like Nelson was good and he was safe. It made a lot of sense to me for Nelson's sake just because I feel like Nelson's just got good enough connections. He doesn't talk a lot of shit this season. Smart. He's keeping his mouth shut. Yeah. But he's performing okay, but he hasn't won a daily. He's not dominating heats all the time. So like he's not a big threat to most people. So it made sense there. I do agree making deals is kind of dumb because it could bite you in the ass, but you can get voted in if you don't make a deal too.
These are facts. I think it's just that they made this deal because they're obviously super tired and just all worn out and looking for any kind of a way out. So I kind of get that. I guess I don't like it when people make deals from position of weakness, but big shout out to Logan. He was able to get a win, keep himself safe, and keeping Nelson and keeping Ed safe at this point isn't the hardest thing to do right now. So that's that. Let's go ahead and move on to club night. So of course we get to club night. One of the first things we see is Nany tells Priscilla that, oh, I would have made the same move that you made. Oh, you're safe, honey. What the fuck? Why isn't Nany following through on Ashley's threat? Why is Priscilla getting a free pass? And why is she even telling her this and not exchanging this move for a little bit of power later on? I mean, it kind of is, but I don't know. It's just, it didn't really make the most sense to me. What did you guys make of Nany's promise to Priscilla of keeping her safe this round, when by all means, not the hardest vote to throw in?
I mean, Nany's always been like this, though. It's not... she's and it's honestly, she's not very often that she's in power. So maybe it kind of just got away with her for a little bit.
Didn't know what to do.
Like, she's like, I don't know, you're fine, you're cool with me, bro. You know, but at the end of the day, I don't think she really knew what she was doing. I think she might have been a little bit intoxicated, and we all know Nany when she's intoxicated. She
looks really fun drunk. Nany is probably so much fun when she's drunk.
Until somebody is like, fuck you, Nany.
I've seen her drunk. I interacted her when she was drunk. When Chicago Challenge Mania, she is hilarious.
Yeah, I bet.
Very sweet.
Yes, she definitely looks like somebody that, no matter who she's with, probably a blast drinking with.
And she was loaded.
Tyler, what did you make of Nany's premature move during club night?
Never, ever, ever tell somebody they're safe. Because shit changes, shit happens. And all you do is if you tell somebody they're safe and then you eventually have to vote them in, then you just made an enemy for no reason. Well, yeah, but don't even say that. Don't even say that. Be like, are you going to vote me in? Be like, I have to talk to my partner. We haven't made a decision yet. I just want to have fun. I'm not worrying about it. You have a 1 in 9 chance of going in. I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't ran down the list. I'm just here to have fun. I'm not here playing a strategical game. I just want to get drunk. Like, fucking.
I just want to get drunk and make out with Casey.
But for real, just like put the game away and everything and just be like, you know what? I am so out of this game right now that I'm not even a threat to anybody. So
I'm just happy to have won something.
I don't even know what to do with power. Maybe I'll vote for myself. Who knows? Like, just don't tell anybody anything. It's just dumb to tell people. It's just dumb.
And I'm with you on that one. I think that the only time it is good to say something like that to somebody is if you are particularly building up power for yourself.
When was the last time Nany won a daily?
She won one last season.
But this is almost why it would be perfect for her to play that role. Hey, I'm in now. Your name's getting floated around. I'm really finding a hard time to find a reason of not just throwing you in. Why shouldn't I throw you in? Oh, da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'll tell you what. If I save your ass this time around, when my name comes get floated up, just remember you owe me this fucking favor. I'm not promising. You won't know until we get down there, but if I save you, you know, I'm going to need this back. And granted, somebody could always renege on that, but if you don't win a whole bunch of dailies, this is definitely the time to bring it out. And it's a good time to make friends.
I would just be like, you know what? Let's make the calls to deal. Let's shake hands, swear on each other's mothers. And then just like hold them accountable, put them on their strength, and just like, hey, come on. But yeah, no,
I think, God, you didn't bring up someone's mother. Not again.
There's a reason why people hate watching Wes, Johnny Bananas, Jordan, CT have power. Why they hate seeing somebody like Cara and Laurel have power, because they use it to their advantage. They don't just, I have power. Who knows what? Like, they have power. They use it.
What can you do for me?
Yeah, but it's
exactly.
like
It's investment versus cash. You know, you could have $1 million in cash, but if you're smart, you know, you have a couple $100,000 in cash and you have the rest making money for you. So that's really what it is. What's the point of having power if that power isn't gaining more power for you? But let's go ahead and move on. I really want to get to nominations. I thought it was really great. We had this mad scramble, and I said this out on Twitter. It was really great. We had this mad scramble. You got Cory on one side, you got Ashley on one side because their name is coming up, and they're going from person to person. They're hearing things. They're talking to people that formulated it. This is one of the things that I really, really felt that was missing from the whole last series that we had with the Red Skulls and the Golden Skull twist. This mad dash to stay out and all of this massive politicking before we get to nominations. And this nominations was everything we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Everything we wanted it to be.
Ashley was grand scheming out there.
Yes, we got Ashley versus Cory. We got Devin jumping in. We got Priscilla, you know, speaking up for Cory. Then you got Nelson speaking up for Cory. It didn't look like it was going Cory's way. You got Josh calling Cory out. It was a lot of bullshit. Let's talk about some of our favorite moments from this nomination. One of my favorite moments was Nelson and Ashley going at it. And Cory called Ashley a snake. And she's like, besides Hunter, who else is that snake? And fucking crickets. No one had an answer. And I really thought that was telling. Nelson was going after Amanda like, oh, you think this girl is your friend? You know, you went in for her, you sacrificed yourself for her. She's like, motherfucker, you sacrificed yourself for Cory and you didn't get shit. And then he brought up that, you know, she won $1 million and only got her a $500 gift card, which I didn't know, but I found absolutely fucking wonderful and hilarious.
That is kind of fucked up.
Listen.
Because, like, she saved her.
It's still, I mean, how much was she supposed to give her? She got $500K.
Ashley didn't win the final either.
But listen,
Ashley
$500K.
and Hunter won the final.
Ashley won the final with Hunter. Nonetheless, she beat him, though, overall by numbers.
Listen,
she
that
won
500K
still.
isn't 500K. About 42 to 45% of that is done in Texas.
Oh, Texas is going to take all of that, yeah.
That's one. Two, you probably got yourself out of debt. That's another 50 to 80 grand. It's not, and I hate to say this, but 100K, 200K is not that fucking much. Especially if you don't have a regular job that brings in regular income.
Now, according to what I've heard about Ashley, I think even Ashley said that she's already independently wealthy because of her family, from what I understand.
Yes.
So it's not a situation where she really needed the money. So it's kind of like, I remember when she was talking about like the next season, she's like, I haven't even spent any of the money that I got from that season. Like, it's just chilling. So yeah, I get that. But at the end of the day, Amanda didn't run that final. She didn't complete it. Why is Ashley having to give her any money? Like, the fact that she gave her a $500 gift card, thank you. Like, you didn't have to give me a $500 gift card.
She doesn't go in. Ashley goes home, though. 100%.
You know what, though? It could have been 20K.
She lost the elimination. That's not on Ashley.
It could have been a couple of bands. She could have gave her a couple bands.
But also technically, if we want to go, he kind of called her out because you're not supposed to give your winnings away to the other competitors to possibly help them through the game.
Hold on. Easy, though, because the Godfather Mark Long's done this like 4 times. So,
but that was back in the day. They made those rules because they had that big, if I win, I'll split this with you. If you win, I'll give you this.
Yes.
That's why they made the rules after that.
Because it would negatively affect the integrity of the show. You shouldn't be able to give you at least not a significant portion. And let me tell you something, $500 is not significant. And the $500 wasn't in exchange for her going in. She did it as a thank you afterwards. So I'm okay with.
That could have been a fucking Christmas present. Like, here you go.
Exactly.
Anyways,
back to the nomination.
It's a stupid reason to save somebody. Shouldn't have saved somebody.
I hated the fact that Priscilla had to speak up and was just like, oh, I didn't talk to Cory before, and Devin's just like, fucking bullshit, we don't believe it. I don't think that Devin really thinks that. I think it just gives, listen, I said this a million times before. They don't need a good reason to throw your ass in.
Any reason would do.
A reason.
Yes, a reason. And flimsy as it is, because as long as it's their name, it's not your name. So I thought that was kind of bullshit. Tyler, what really stuck out to you?
So the thing here is, the thing is that people are not using the information that's around them to their benefit. Like, Cory attacking Ashley makes no sense because they could potentially be working together. So if one of them goes in, that's bad. I notice that, like, both our names are thrown in. Why don't both of us go after somebody else? Like, that's my thing. And also,
who would be the choice for them to go against?
Amber.
Anybody.
Amber.
Amber. No, exactly. Amber's on the bottom of the vet totem pole. 100% throwing Amber.
And she has a challenge win, which is what they were going for. She has a championship.
But then I don't understand why Cory's name was ever brought up, because Cory's never placed better than second place ever.
Because
and that was one time.
He's brought up because he made a bad move by outwardly showing that he was working with rookies in front of the vets. Had he not thrown that ball,
glossed over that.
If he had not thrown that ball at Jeremiah, whatever his name is,
Jeremiah,
face guy who's making out with Amber, if he hadn't thrown that ball at him, and I've literally told Josh that this is one of my number one guys, he should have kept zipped, and he shouldn't have shown that. That's what got him in trouble.
I think Josh seen that and he jumped on him. But once Cory got in his face and pressed him and just showed kind of like what a fucking bitch Josh is. Like,
he punked him hard.
He punked him so hard and made Josh look like such a little bitch. I think Josh knew, but Josh already had it in his head that he was going after Cory, because in the A block of it, he already identified Cory as being teammates with Jeremiah. He already didn't like it. And him tossing the ball to Jeremiah during the daily just confirmed all of his fucking stupid fucking suspicions. So, like I said, they don't need a good reason. Any reason would do. Cory
had the best line, though. He's like, I'm trying to get to a final. You know that thing you've never actually been in? The one that I've actually ran and you've never run before? I was like, whoop.
I do not understand. Like, I never understood why Josh consistently puts himself in situations to be made out to look like a bitch or to get bitched at or just get played. This guy gets played on a episode by episode basis, and he just allows it. He puts himself in these positions. I have no pity for that guy.
So if I can offer my managerial services,
God,
there we go.
Cory.
He doesn't have a challenger to represent.
As soon as on this podcast I started saying like I was representing like Leroy, like he made back-to-back finals pretty much. Like he appeared in 2 different finals. Like he was there.
Shit.
Cory, my guy. If you're going to bring up Ashley, don't use her as a snake. Just say she can't be trusted because she has her number 1 and number 2. And if that's not you, she's going to throw you in. That's how you word it. You look at me, I'm Cory. I'm willing to work with Jeremiah. I'm willing to work with Ed. I'm willing to work with Bettina. Anybody. I'm willing to work with Priscilla. I will work with anybody because I think that we all should try and get, like, I want to try and get people to the final. I want to get to a final too. But Ashley will not do that. And that's how I would have worded that. If you're going to go after Ashley, go at her weakness of she's too loyal to her people, which is, I know it sounds weird to say it's a weakness, but that means that nobody else can break in. That's the thing. If you let Ashley stay here, that means you're letting Amanda stay here. That means you're letting Nani stay here. Like you're letting Tori stay here. By keeping her, you're keeping these other core girls. And you don't have a spot.
There's a level of closeness, especially between Amanda and Ashley, that nobody's going to be able to crush.
And break. There we go.
No, I definitely feel you on that. Cory's argument was just too weak. Him sitting there just saying, oh, you're a snake, and doesn't have anything to back it up, it made him look dumb. It made him look untrustworthy. It's the reason why he lost this, and it's the reason why him and Bettina got compromised, and they're going in.
You know what makes me think, though, is that he tried to do incorrectly what Bananas did to Ashley a couple seasons ago. Because that was exactly Bananas' stance. Ashley's a snake. Ashley will snake you. Ashley
He's
does
not
this.
Bananas, though. He doesn't have Bananas'
Well, that was
charisma.
I saying. He was failing at pulling a Bananas.
Which is a shame, because he's insanely charismatic.
He could. If he he can't do somebody else's moves. He has to make up his own. It's just
I also think that he was very emotional. The pressure's building up. You're in this small room. Everybody's surrounding you. Everything's out in the open. It's pressure, and he just wasn't able to perform. It happens. It happens to a lot of guys. You know, they can't perform with the pressure's on. So...
Yeah.
Tyler, do you just have a fucking flashback? Prom, man. Prom was rough.
but them targeting Cory, though... No, hang on. I'm going to skip past that. I don't care. Them targeting Cory, though, makes the most sense because if you look at those vets, the person that is least likely to win a daily is Cory. Now, I know Malik would say, like, who holds the record for most dailies won? Yeah, Battle of the Bloodlines was a long time ago, and it paired up a bad team against a good team. I don't know the
answer to that.
You do know the answer because you brought it up before. Because you do know that
well, Cory it's been a long time since Battle of the Bloodlines.
Well, Cory holds the longest win streak. He won like 8 dailies in a row.
That doesn't count. Season. He was a part of a team in Bloodlines.
Yeah, well...
So technically, fucking Cara has the longest running...
That's fair.
Streak
so
too.
Darrell only has 1 championship. There we go. His first 3 championships are like Veronica's. Well,
I'm just saying, if technically Cory has those many daily wins, so does like someone like Cara, who or whoever he was teammates. I think she was teammates with Cory, wasn't she, or she was with his cousin?
Who are you talking about?
Jamie. No, because you know how they split them in the beginning.
Yeah.
I forget who was on Cara's team for the longest period of time where they were just killing.
Cory was on Cara's team. He was with Bananas, Cara, Abram. They were all on that same team.
And they won a lot of dailies in a row.
Jenna's cousin was there. They won a lot of dailies because Bananas and Abram win a lot of dailies. That's just what they do. They're really good at dailies.
Let me ask you guys a question. After the
Abram
vote,
came later.
And we know that Kyle voted for Cory. He doesn't really feel bad about it. You got Cory coming out, puffing out his chest. He presses Kyle, calls him a snake. And then Kyle, the funny thing about it is Kyle was always just like, oh, yes, I'm a snake and I'm a liar. Ha, ha, ha.
He is a snake. He is.
But this time, he was having none of it. He was just like, fuck you. Like, fuck off. I don't care.
He called him a bitch. He called him a bitch in his accent, and I almost giggled. I was like, well, I did giggle. I'm not going to lie. A British accent calling someone a bitch is funny.
Kyle has been pretty solid for the past. Kyle has been a solid ass competitor.
Always.
Hasn't had quite enough to really close it out. But I don't know. I think Kyle is only a hop, skip, and a jump from actually starting to take a leader role in these things. He needs to get a more solid base. He doesn't have all these British people. In fact, he's the only remnant from that era still around. So
Melissa was supposed to be on this season, but she got pulled. She pulled out
Big
last
T
minute.
Came from War of the Worlds 2. So I'm just saying from the 2 English brought things, Big T technically is a part of that. So
yeah, but Kyle was there way before that.
Yeah, he was there a couple seasons before her.
I'm talking more of the Kyle, Josh, Rogan, Melissa era, that kind of
okay. The originals
from there.
Final
he is the last one standing.
Exactly.
Well, Melissa just had a baby, so I think that's kind of why.
She was supposed to be on this season, but something happened and she was pulled last minute.
Josh and Rogan are on Murray, I think. Going through the relationship. Murray, the daytime show, going over there, love life drama.
Are they?
No, they're not on that show. It was a joke. God damn.
No, because
I was like, what's Murray? Do you mean like Maury?
I don't know. The white guy. I don't know.
But
who's your father?
And the other girl on Dr. Phil, so it's not outside of the whole realm of possibility.
Well, Bananas and Wes went on Maury to find out the lie detector test results on whether or not Wes was obsessed with him.
That's just because they're funny.
I know.
Funny.
Let's go ahead and move on to the elimination.
Yeah.
So
Malik's having none of us tonight. He's like, shut the fuck up with your Maury talk.
No, we're just going way off.
Jerry.
So, once again, Logan and Nani are the agency, and Cory and Bettina is going down. They vote in, unsurprisingly, Amber and Jeremiah is going to be their name called. The name of this elimination is going to be called Hang in the Balance. You got a triangle-shaped balance beam. You got to take your puzzle pieces, carry them across this oddly shaped beam, and put them together on the end. A little mixed about this one. This one looked incredibly tough. Both teams had trouble balancing. Jeremiah and Amber took a really early lead and they was killing shit. And then at some point, Cory and Bettina, they just figure it out, get their footwork together, and they just beast it and completely lapse them and gets it done. I mean, they were down by probably 70% at some point.
They hadn't have any across, and Jeremiah and Amber only needed one more pass to finish.
I think they had 3 more when they were trying to do it, or it could have been 1 more, but they were up way ahead. Cory and Bettina comes back, gets it together. All reality from Bettina figuring out the footwork with Cory and guiding him through and taking care of the puzzle with no input from Cory. Pretty fucking amazing for Bettina. Yes.
No.
I'm very surprised.
Are we surprised that Cory didn't do any of the puzzle? That's what I meant.
I would have expected Cory to take a much bigger lead in this, but really, Bettina took the lead and she brought it home. Very, very impressed by Bettina, considering we haven't seen a goddamn thing out of her. What did you guys feel? What did you guys feel about this elimination, Becky?
It was interesting. I think it got kind of annoying when all they kept doing was falling. And I was like, oh, come on, get it together. I think that Amber and Jeremiah had a interesting tactic. It seemed a little bit weird that's how the way they went. It is a much smarter move the way Cory and Bettina did it. And what they should have done is learned from Cory and Bettina and done it that same way. But kind of is what it is, especially since poor Jeremiah looked like he was ready to pass out.
Well, I think it's because they already had so much done by the time they got to that point. They didn't feel like it was good to switch it up now. Like, they already got so much done. Switching it up at that point probably didn't seem like the greatest idea, but I do think that you're right. If they would have just watched how they were doing it towards the end, probably would have had a different outcome.
They should have
Tyler,
rested and watched.
I think the elimination was good. I think that it was a good balance of elimination that is fair, because it's not something that either team should be good at, you'd think. Maybe if Bettina was on this, because it's like a circus thing, but
Berna. Berna. That's
Berna. That's what I meant to say. Berna. I shouldn't have messed up her name, because that's like was a joker there.
Bertha.
But I was entertained by it. It sucks because like these types of eliminations are just kind of like there's really not much that can happen that's like, you know what I mean? There's really no drama added to it, kind of, but it just, I don't know. It was a good elimination, but it's something that I think should ever be really repeated. Like, I wouldn't care if it never came back.
I'm with you on that one.
Like,
I did like the elimination. I love the fact that it looked hard.
Yeah.
When we was getting to the end, you could tell they was gassed out. In all reality, most likely because Amber was so gassed out and Jeremiah wasted so much energy holding them up, it made those last rounds pretty impossible. And there was a lot of dropping. The comeback from behind win, I thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy it, even though I will probably never need to see this again. But the challenge has to throw in some of these janky eliminations every now and then. Like we were saying last time with the back-to-the-back climbing up the pole thing. If you're in a position of power and it looks like you might make a final and you see Fessy, this might be the elimination. Throw Fessy in this one. It's not physical. It's kind of janky. Anybody can win it. And when it comes to those eliminations, of course we love to see Hall Brawl and pole wrestle 24/7, but you gotta change it up every now and then. So I was pretty okay with this. I thought it was a good elimination for the time. It could have been anyone's game. I thought it had a lot of drama. I thoroughly enjoyed the elimination.
It was better than the lumberjack climb on the pole one, for sure.
Yeah,
there was more
absolutely.
to it.
Absolutely.
Like having to do something that's difficult while also carrying something, while also having to finish a puzzle. Like, I think endurance eliminations are the best at impressing fans. Because, like, if we go back and we look at it, like, when did people really start to love Cara? I believe it's on Free Agents when she beasted Nia for like over an hour on that Pull Me.
Yeah.
I believe when people saw that, they were like, holy shit, she has heart. She really wants this. I'm going to root for her. These are type of moments. Like, I think this, it's not going to not same area tier, but I think this kind of puts Bettina in this situation where people are like, all right, like, look at her. She gave it. Amber got gassed out and Bettina kept going. Maybe we shouldn't underestimate this girl. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she's going to have the same trajectory as Cara, but endurance eliminations will just bring the best out. I mean, I remember watching like Dustin on Battle of the Seasons where they had to like pull themselves underwater so the other person could do the puzzle piece. Right. And everybody was like, holy shit, he's under there for like a minute at a time, not able to breathe constantly.
And remember when Big Easy and Camila was doing it?
And Big Easy couldn't do it.
Yeah, almost killed himself. I do like the elimination aspect. We definitely got to get those in there. That Cara versus that Cara elimination and Free Agents was absolutely epic, and it did turn the tide on a lot of her. A lot of us fell in love with her that season. But it looks like Jeremiah and Amber are going home together. Jeremiah said the realest shit. He's like, you know, I didn't really get to do what I wanted to do, but he's like, I got Amber, and that's a fucking win. And you know what? Can't be really mad at that. So I give them points for that. Definitely disappointing for Amber.
And they get to leave at the same time. So.
And they get to leave at the same time. So what country are they in?
They're in Croatia right now.
They're probably going to pal around Croatia for at least a couple of weeks before heading back. So good for them. Amber lost with grace and class. She didn't feel like, oh, I'm going to air somebody out before I leave or snap my fingers. She said, thank you guys. Love you guys. Said a lot of nice things on the way out. A lot of grace, a lot of class that's missing from a lot of these lady challengers. Don't get me wrong. I do like Amber. Hated to see her lose. But when somebody lose and they're able to do it with just as much class as when they win, that's something. So good for them. Of course, we get to the end and we get to see who's going to switch partners. TJ comes on. He goes, you can join the group. You can join the group. You can join the group. And to me, when TJ didn't say anything and just told him to join the group, that was 100% bullshit. I understand every game got to have twists and they got to have turns, but everybody's playing a game and they're trying to play a strategic game and you just changing the rules out the blue with
it's
no
about to go individual.
If you was going to do this, you should have told them at least before, or at least given some heads up. Because people are playing the game in a certain way and they're doing stuff in a certain way, expecting a certain outcome. To me, it's kind of unfair. That's how I feel about it.
Wouldn't it have been nice if after this elimination, or after the daily, he came out and said, just so you guys know, this, or like not this one, but like last episode, where he'd have been like, after the daily, this is the very last time you can win an elimination and switch partners. And then we can just see chaos just happen.
All you had to do.
Chaos. Let them do what they want to do. Because then somebody will be like, forget rookies. I need to go in and get a better partner.
Yes. Exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Somebody else is throwing themselves down there. Oh, this is the last time?
It's better than just like not even announcing it.
It's all about the twist,
and
though.
Not even explaining
Expect the unexpected.
But he could have said that at the end of last week's elimination. Just so you guys know, no more switching partners going forward. And then they go into the daily, the elimination, the nomination, all with the game in their head.
Like, I think that gives them too much information. I like fucking with their heads. That's kind of how it works.
Yes, and to a certain degree. Bringing in, hey, this is a season where nobody's won, and bringing in the champions halfway through. That's fine. But even though that's kind of unfair.
This was, since we're in baseball playoffs, let's use a sports analogy. This is like,
no, I don't want to talk about the baseball playoffs.
No, I'm not. Hey, no,
my fine. Yankees.
Yeah, but that's all right. That's right. The evil empire failed. But anyways,
we're not evil. We're America's team.
No. Anyways, let's say you hit the baseball and it's going for a home run. And as it's hitting out of bounds and it hits out a home run, you run to first, run to second, and as you're rounding third, the umpire goes, "You're out." And you go, "Why?" "Well, you hit it out of bounds. You got to keep it in play now. That's how we're changing things." That's bullshit, because I never would have done what I was doing beforehand if you'd have told me the rules were going to change. That's the thing. You have to tell people the rules are going to change.
But this is not baseball. This is not going to be what it is.
But it's unfair to the challengers.
Yeah, this is not like a standard system of games that has a set of rules. You guys want this to be like, I'm sorry, this is not a league. This is going to be the fifth major sport.
You gotta have followable rules.
Rules change all the time in professional sports, all the time.
What if TJ comes in and says, no more bans if he hit other competitors.
After somebody punches somebody.
Well, did you guys
It
hear?
kind of seems like production wants blah 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 to stay in the game.
Did you guys hear what happened with Fessy? Because actually, Josh hit him with a glass and cut his chin open. That's why everybody was so shocked when Josh didn't get sent home, because Fessy he was bleeding, like bleeding. Everybody saw it. Apparently,
it thought it came from a scratch or something like that. So.
I'm just saying, if you get hit with a glass and you cut somebody, is that better or worse than bopping somebody in the forehead?
Obviously, they missed it, but the point stands.
Obviously, they didn't want to send Josh home.
Changing the rule, he doesn't push the mold that much. Like, here's the thing: changing the rules and giving twists and turns to challengers is great and fantastic. It should be done every season. However, you have to establish that when it happens. Like, after last elimination, he should have said there will be no more switching partners, just so you know, going forward. Because how people played the next daily, the next nomination, and going into that elimination was with an idea that partners could potentially be switched. Like, that's the problem.
And now they don't have that. I don't know. I like it.
Now they know.
I'm good with that.
Check this out.
Listen,
one of the main things that Johnny Bananas is screaming about on his podcast, Death, Taxes, and Bananas. He only picked that podcast name because Love War Challenges was gone.
Right. Yoink.
So one of the main things he's talking about, he says, is too many twists and turns. He said, it's too much of the unexpected, and they're trying to do too much. I think he wants to be more of a purist, but it's Johnny Bananas. But he does have some point. Sometimes these twists and turns is a little bit too much. He could have skipped all of this and just said something at the end of the last episode. It would have been just as shocking, and would have changed a lot about how this episode went. He's messing with people's games, and it's just not the way to go about it. That is just my opinion.
It's a purge.
We're overdue for one. I see a purge coming. And purge is something that I'm fine with. You don't have to bring it out, but you wouldn't let everybody run the race and then tell people, "Oh, it's a purge. The last two teams are gone." Like,
no, I honestly think they're about to go individual. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to literally split off and be an individual game.
We've done this before. We've seen this before. But doing it in this fashion, where everybody's getting ready to make their pick, and they're just like, "Well, you're shit out of luck now," was really unfair. And then give them enough of a chance to prepare.
CT was like, he's like, if she picks me, it won't last long. I'll make sure of that one. CT's like, I don't want this bitch right now, my T. Don't make me do it.
Well, that was the episode 9, season 37, The Challenge, Spies, Lies, Allies. What did you guys think? For me, this episode was scores better than the last two. So one of the best episodes we got since about episode 4 or 5. So you give it a 7?
Give it a 7. 7 means rewatchable, but it's not a go-to episode. So it hits the criteria. We can 7.3. We'll give it a little bit better than a 7, but it's a good thing, but a little too predictable. Like, they gave us too much in the preview to this episode, in my opinion. So like, I kind of already knew what was going to happen for drama-wise. That's it. But otherwise, it's a good episode.
Becky, what's your take on today's episode?
I think I give it a solid 8 because a lot of people got punked this episode. Cory got punked twice. Josh got punked a couple times. And I just think it was comical. People brought out a lot of wittiness and they were ready. It's like almost like they had this shit prepared for when this was going to go down. Like Ashley knew this is what they were going to talk shit about. So she had her shit ready to fight. So I got to say, I enjoyed this episode. I do wish that there was more blood. But, maybe I'm just bloodthirsty. I haven't seen a good, real hearty elimination, which is why I'm really hoping this goes individual, because bring on the real fights.
Absolutely. I'm going to give this episode a 7.5. We've seen the Vet Alliance come to an end. We've seen a great mad dash for nominations, a great daily, and a lot of drama. So it did have a lot of great features to it, but an episode is good at this, and then you get the elimination that we did. It doesn't do great, even though I thought the elimination was fine and it was good. We had a more explosive elimination. I think it would have really set the episode higher. Plus, the whole no switching thing at the end was actually a huge letdown because I felt like, some great moves was about to be made with Cory and Bettina now being free. Would have really shook things up. So I thought they really missed an opportunity there. Anything else we need to get to before we get out of here? You guys want to talk about what's happening with Morgan and Bananas and their sister chiming in? Morgan's sister?
Oh my God.
Sure, because I know nothing. I just know that they broke up and people are saying Bananas might have cheated. I don't know.
There's
Morgan's
also
sister said exactly that.
Speculation that he cheated with Laurel.
Oh, okay.
That is what I've heard.
Why would he be in Montana, though, when he's working on his
She's not
TV
in Montana
show?
anymore.
Oh, well, I don't
Where
know
is she?
that.
Lord knows.
Well, how do you know
Lord
she's not in
knows.
Montana?
Because she said, I know that she said something about moving. She doesn't live there anymore.
But, I don't know. It's very weird that it would be another challenger.
Listen, it's just what I heard.
And
that there's
Laurel?
like things with postings and the way people saw postings done that they think he hooked up with Laurel. And I just don't believe it because, I just can't see Laurel doing
the Laurel thing
Bananas.
doesn't really make sense at
Isn't it
this
kind of
time.
interesting that we're having like Nelson and Ashley, not like they were a thing, but they're not a thing, and like
I'm not surprised.
We have Jordan and Tori not together anymore. Now Bananas and Morgan not together anymore. Do we have an X's 4 coming or an X's 3 coming up? Like,
Nobody. I mean, I like Morgan.
what do you mean nobody wants that? Everybody wants
Not that
that.
nobody wants that, but nobody's clamoring for Morgan to come back.
X's 2 is one of the best seasons ever.
Ecstasy was.
X's 1
I actually
sucked.
would like to see, and it's going to sound weird, but I would actually find it funny to see Cara and Kyle paired together and see how that
Yeah. No, they
interaction
That'd be a
happened.
great
That'd
fucking
be
team.
then
fucking
Pauly-
crazy.
And then put Pauly with whoever he hooked up with.
Danielle.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't think she
And
wants
then-
to be on this show. I think they even
No,
offered it to her.
that'd be messy because then
Super
you got Cara and that would actually be probably a fucking amazing.
But here's the thing. I think if Cara and Kyle were paired up, everybody would be like, ooh, but it'd be nothing. Because like Kyle's got a kid now, and like Cara's like super happily with like Pauly. Like,
Yeah.
they'd both be like,
Shout out
remember
to
when that
them.
happened? And they'd be like, yeah, that was weird.
And shout out to their relationship, standing the test of time. Those guys are going on. They're happy as shit.
They're holding together. And actually,
They are
funny
holding together
enough,
pretty well.
them and Zach and Jenna seem to be the most stable couple coming out of these challenges.
From that have both been on the show. Yeah.
It's kind of creepy. A little bit weird.
All right.
Who knows? Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you guys for spending your time with us. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you visit shopthechallenge.com. Get all of your customizable challenge gear. We also got a special edition Gamer Vev jersey. And right now, Dirty 30 t-shirts are on sale, $20. Make sure you visit out shopthechallenge.com. Make sure you visit lwcpodcast.com. To check us out there. Make sure you visit shop.lwcpodcast.com. We got a whole bunch of new shirts just got uploaded the other day. Check them out. A lot of great stuff there. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Love War Challenges. Follow us on TikTok at Love War Challenges. You can follow us on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Deezer. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at youtube.lwcpodcast.com. That's going to close us out. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. She is Becky at Gift Master Bex. This is Love War Challenges. Good night.
Bye.